Hey guys, I'm out here in the desert, close enough to the beach to see it, far enough away to where I can't go and play every night, unfortunately. On the way here, I read the papers on the airplane. The first one I kind of found it interesting that African Americans suffer disproportionately from psychosis even after a blind test from Caucasians. Another one that I found interesting was the information on the dissociative identity disorder, and the fact that it said that you can't really work with a client who has dissociative identity disorder as a individual. You have to work on them as a group or a team. You gotta work on them as though you're working with multiple individuals, not just one. And then on the bus ride up here, I watched a couple of videos. The first one, I had some headphones on here. They're the type that are just bone conductive, so you can actually still hear what's going on around you. And so watching that first video was kind of trippy, where you've got the voices going on. So listening to those voices while that individual was dealing with trying to get the right meds, and then being able to hear all the conversations around me in the bus, that was an interesting experience. I think it was almost more real, to what somebody with schizophrenia would be experienced than if I listened to it with headphones that cut out the ambient sound. The podcast, I listened to pretty much the whole thing, but I think I kind of fell asleep. I did find it was interesting that they brought up the one thing about the artist who scribbled his name on a urinal and then called it art, and how different people see reality in different manners. One of the videos though that I really enjoyed was the video with the lady who was talking about having schizophrenia and hearing different voices, but at first they were just helpful and kind of was just commentation on what was going on in her life, and then when she sought out help, she started seeing them as bad, and therefore they became bad because she wasn't listening to them and she wasn't letting them help her, which was what they were there to do. And so instead of using it as a helpful tool, she ended up creating a worse situation by trying to deal with it as a problem, that she was crazy, instead of as a result of a trauma or traumas that happened in the past. And I thought it was really a good point that she made, that when dealing with clients, you shouldn't ask what's wrong with them, but instead ask what has happened to them, what they've been through. A lot of people who suffer from various mental issues have suffered some type of trauma. Myself, as I shared in my top 10 list, I've been to Iraq, and I had mortars flying over my head. I also suffered different traumas as a child, and so all of that has affected me in various ways. And and we as clinicians and as professionals, we need to remember to treat people with dignity and respect, and treating them as though they are crazy is not going to help them to work through their issues. If anything, it may create issues with them working through their issues and healing. And so that was one thing that I also found interesting. Back to the readings, is the one article that was talking about how those who suffer from psychosis, if they're able to help out their family, it not only benefits the family, but it actually helps to raise the client's self-esteem, and by raising the self-esteem of the client, that actually helps with the healing process. Well, it's almost 5 minutes, so I'm going to check out, plus I got to get back to this military thing. So I'll yell at you guys later.